Hello, I'm Henry Keane and we are UATV. We are online as usual to give you the Ukrainian perspective of reality. Watching the episode. Breaking, Trump cuts ultimatum deadline for Putin even more. The Ukrainian intelligence special forces carried out a successful operation. Mexican drug cartels reportedly eyeing Ukraine to learn drone warfare. Please join the right side of history by subscribing to our channel and welcome to the News Pulse. Trump goes serious and shortens ultimatum to Putin even more. Now it's 10 days. Now the deadline for Putin is August 2025.
You want a big scoop?
Yes, please.
Everybody else close your ears, okay? You ready?
I'm ready.
10 days from today. And then, we're going to put on tariffs and stuff, and I don't know if it's going to affect Russia, because he wants to obviously probably keep the war going, but we're going to put on tariffs.
The Kremlin has misinterpreted Donald Trump's patience in regards to negotiations to end the war. But the time for misinterpretations is over, said U.S. State Department spokeswoman Tammy Bruce.
President Trump has proven that he should be taken seriously because he's a serious man. What's been discussed regularly are sanctions, and the president also brought up the issue of sanctions and even secondary sanctions. As certain countries are benefiting from buying Russian oil, just as there are many things that Secretary Rubio can do and help facilitate. But the president himself mentioned those two dynamics. He has been patient, and that may have been misinterpreted by some people. And I think the time for misinterpretation is now over.
Putin does not deserve more time. This was stated by U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal in a comment to Ukrainian public broadcaster. He insists on the need to speed up the voting on the bill on sanctions against Russia. Blumenthal stressed that the initiative will help to stop the war, and Putin must understand this.
Vladimir Putin does not deserve any extra time, and we need to speed up the vote on the sanctions bill. Everything the president is doing is in the right direction, but I strongly advocate for sanctions of 500%, not 100%. Richard Blumenthal, U.S. Senator from the Democratic Party, in a comment to Ukrainian public broadcaster Suspilne.
In the coming weeks, to consolidate the anti-Russian sanctions effort, that is what is needed to increase the cost of war for the Kremlin. This was stated by the head of the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry, Andrei Sybiha. He emphasized that Ukraine carefully coordinates national sanctions with restrictions of partners and works hard to close loopholes and reduce Moscow's access to technology. Sybiha noted that Putin obviously avoids meetings with world leaders and prolongs the war. He also added that Russian terror will stop if the very core of the Russian economy of war is broken. This is absolutely within the collective power of the US, Europe and the G7.
It is time to consolidate a unified and powerful sanctions fist and strike Russia's military budget with full force. Russian officials recently boasted that they are fighting alone against the entire West. They need this cheap propaganda to explain to their people why a country as large as Russia has not achieved a single strategic goal in 3 years of war against much smaller Ukraine. But if they consider themselves heroes who are single-handedly opposing the entire West, then let them feel the consolidated power of the entire West and the maximum pressure of sanctions. Andrei Sybiha, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, on social media X.
A special unit of the main directorate of Ukrainian intelligence carried out a successful operation on the Tendry Spit in the Black Sea of the coast of the Kherson region. On the night of July 28th, Marine scouts landed on the spit and destroyed the position of Russian occupiers, as well as the Zond umbrella electronic warfare system and the Rosa radar station. The fighters planted then the Ukrainian flag. Official Kyiv also confirmed a successful strike on Russian logistics hub in the city of Salsk in the Rostov region. A major railway junction was attacked there, said Andrei Kovalenko, head of the Center of Countering Disinformation under the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine. He emphasized that the railway is the main artery of war, and without it functioning, the actions of the Russian army at the front are significantly slowed down.
At night, the railway and resource base of the Russians in the city of Salsk were attacked. A key logistics hub is located there. Fuel, ammunition and equipment pass through it to the front in the Donetsk region towards the temporarily occupied Crimea and Zapariji. Andriy Kovalenko, head of the Center for Countering Disinformation of Ukraine, on Telegram.
The Ukrainian Defense Forces have begun to actively target Russian railway infrastructure in order to disrupt their logistics. On July 27th, a substation in Rostov and Volgograd Oblast burns down, causing delays in rerouting in trains schedule. On July 29th, the Dvoynaya substation in Oryol Oblast was targeted, causing similar problems for Russians. On the same day, a train carrying fuel and oil byproducts was targeted in Salsk. Such strikes clearly show the defense forces of Ukraine have both the physical capabilities and data necessary for such a long-range precision strikes on the enemy's logistics. These strikes may also indicate intentions to stop the Russian summer offensive on the front line and give the Ukrainian defenders the opportunity to counterattack. But let's not rush, but simply state the fact: Ukrainian defense forces are gaining the momentum with the help of their new long-range strike capabilities. Pokrovsk direction, Russian troops are desperately pouring more infantry into battle and using bicycles as an assault transportation means. This was reported by the Telegram channel of the 3rd Operational Brigade of the National Guard of Ukraine, Spartan. The situation in this section of the front remains tense. Indeed, Russian occupiers are attempting to break through the position of Ukrainian military using the disposable infantry, so-called meat waves. The Russians are attacking in dense groups, both on foot and, yes, bicycles, trying to approach unexpectedly to the fortified positions of the armed forces of Ukraine. However, Ukrainian soldiers swiftly identify such groups and effectively destroy the enemy as they approach on their bicycles. What a sight, I guess. Alexander Syrsky, Commander-in-Chief of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, inspected one of the hotspots on the front line in the Zapariji region. He noted that compared to other directions, there are fewer combat clashes here. However, in the area of Kamensk, the Russian invaders actively use guided air bombs, artillery and attack drones, and also continue to unsuccessfully, as of now, storm the positions of defense forces in small groups. Still, Syrsky emphasized that the situation in this direction is under the control of the armed forces of Ukraine.
We are aware of the plans of the Russian occupiers. On our part, measures are being taken to improve the coordination of military units and strengthen divisions in order to ensure the stability of our defenses and prevent the enemy from advancing closer to Zapariji. I am sincerely grateful to the defenders who are bravely holding their ground and destroying the Russian aggressor. Ukrainian Zapariji and all of Ukraine rests on your shoulders. Alexander Syrsky, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, on Facebook.
Now some Netflix-style detective series for you. Mexican drug cartels reportedly are in Ukraine to learn drone warfare. French media reports on that. Members of Mexican drug cartels are allegedly traveling to Ukraine under false identities to gain combat experience with drones, according to intelligence online. The report cites a warning from Mexico's intelligence agency CNI to Ukraine's security service SBU, noting that some Spanish-speaking persons disguised as volunteers may have joined foreign units not out of ideology, but solely of very pragmatic goals to study the most advanced FPV drone tactics in the world that Ukraine uses. One person using fake Salvadorian papers and the call sign Aguila7 completed military training in Lviv and was red flagged for his unusually high drone skills. Investigation was carried out and it was later found out he served in Mexico's elite GAFE Special Forces, a unit with ties to the brutal, violent Los Zetas cartel. Sources claim that other former GAFA members also reached Ukraine using fake documents and private military contractors' paperwork as cover. Experts warn that cartels could, or better said, will apply the drone knowledge gained in Ukraine back home, where drone warfare is already a part of drug cartel wars. Sappers from the Ukrainian National Guard's 5th Slobozhansky Brigade SKIF are now clearing mines from the territory using a new robotic machine system called Mini. It was developed by engineers from the Czech Republic and Slovakia based on the experience and requests of Ukrainian defenders. The technology have been in test abroad for almost a year by now. Natalia Belokudria will tell us what the new sapper machine looks like and what it is capable of.
A National Guard sapper, call sign Medved, launches a new demining machine. The goal? To clear a small patch of forest from explosive devices. During the summer, in the so-called tall grass season, such technology becomes vital.
For a sapper, it's very hard to see where he's going. Even with a metal detector, it might not work. Because some mines, like the PMF-4, have very little metal. He could miss one and step on it. But this machine drives ahead, removes tripwires and mines. I, as the operator, stay about 70 to 100 meters away, which gives me a better chance of staying alive.
Medved has served in the National Guard for 12 years. He started in the infantry, then commanded an APC crew, and a year ago completed training as a sapper. Now he's clearing his native region. He says he and his fellow soldiers will have work here for decades to come. The greatest threat comes from anti-personnel mines, which Russian troops left scattered across the fields of the Kharkiv region. Myron, a volunteer, is now helping the military. Before Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, he sold electrical equipment. In 2024, the head of the National Guard's engineering service approached him with an idea to create a small demining machine.
Large demining machines for open fields already exist. Many, in fact. Even Ukraine produces them. But machines for clearing forests, orchards, residential plots, or even warehouses, those just don't exist. This one can act like a lift. If you replace the demining head with a bucket, it can also be used for scooping.
For the prototype, they used a model built in the Czech Republic. Experts from Slovakia also joined the project. In just 1 year, they created a new mini-robot. Compared to similar foreign models, this machine is 5 times cheaper.
One machine costs 150,000 euros, which is 4 to 5 times less than the cheapest similar model in the world. That's its biggest advantage. So now we can deliver them. It's a far more affordable option compared to imported demining equipment.
The robot is equipped with powerful batteries that let it work non-stop for up to 8 hours. After an area is cleared, a sapper inspects the site to ensure no explosives remain.
I'll walk over to the machine with a metal detector to check if any explosives or anti-personnel mines were left behind. I'll inspect the machine's condition and return.
The project received support from the Kharkiv Regional Military Administration. 6 demining robots have already been purchased and delivered to the 5th Separate Mixed Slovozhansk Brigade, is a brigade of the National Guard of Ukraine, as well as the Spartan and Kraken units, and the 92nd Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. Reported by Natalia Belokudria, Andriy Domovoy from Kharkiv region, UATV News.
Well, that was it for today. My name is Onikin and we are News Pulse at UATV. Your time and attention is much appreciated. Thank you. Please join the fight for freedom and sovereignty. Subscribe to our channel so to stay tuned to things happening in Ukraine. Hope to see you soon. Goodbye.